What else you hope to spread on the podcast?
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of shit. This whole podcast is going to be about music, our music specifically. The people that fuck with us, their music. And also social issues, the human mind, psychology, philosophy, a lot of the shit that you won't hear on these podcasts, you know what I mean? Because our society is so dumbed down, motherfuckers don't want to hear that shit. Mm-hmm. They're so stupid. Like, our society is like, yo, we're on this like, oh, don't judge anybody. And to me, it's like when people say like, don't judge anybody, to me that shit is so corny. It's like, no, you're just saying that because you're scared that someone's gonna judge you. You're scared that someone's gonna expose your fucking demons. Mm-hmm. Someone's gonna expose something about you. So you don't want to be part of that. You don't want to be judged. But to me, it's like, who gives a fuck about, like, I don't give a fuck about that shit, you know what I mean? Like, I am gonna be, like, we as human beings, we're judgmental, we're gonna judge. If I didn't fucking have a judgmental personality, right? If I didn't judge anything my whole life, fuck, I'd be fucked my whole life. You gotta judge. You gotta judge the people around you based on, like, you gotta discriminate. Not in a negative way, not in such a way where it's like necessarily like prejudice, but it's like, oh, I don't feel fucking comfortable around this motherfucker, or I don't feel comfortable with how this motherfucker is moving or what he's saying. I'm gonna discriminate people's fucking words and actions, bro. Mm-hmm. Like that's really what our podcast is. It's unfiltered, right? In a sense.
Red pilled.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if like red pilled or whatever pilled. I don't know if it's any of that shit, but I'm just saying that it is clear. It has clarity. There's no residual of fucking dirt or fog to cloud the waters. You know what I mean? Like, our shit is gonna be like just as clear as we can make it, especially in this fucking politically correct era of everyone's trying to fucking be super sensitive about fucking shit that I think is weird, but I mean, other people fucking probably fuck with it, but I mean, other people fuck with it mostly because of their own insecurities, but I'm gonna say things how I feel.
Unfiltered,
man. Unfiltered, bro.
You think we could give pointers for like new upcoming rappers who are just starting, don't know what to do?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, my main pointers for upcoming artists is
Do you want to give it all away in the first episode?
Nah, we're not gonna give it all away in the first episode. But my main advice, my first main point to artists is yo, I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again, just be yourself. Because a lot of people in this world, the reason why they're not doing this is because they can't be themselves, so they need someone to look up to be like. Like, most people don't have self-knowledge. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? To be themselves. Mm-hmm. So they try to be like, that's the purpose of an icon. Mm-hmm. Right? But now, and icons are fine, but now it's like people don't even know. It's like, there's some shit about being an individual that you can't replace. No icon can be, like, you can't look up to an icon to be that. Like, you gotta be that. You gotta look into yourself and find that in yourself, that this is me. Like, no icon can fill that fucking gap. Right. Do you know what I mean? So to artists, that's what I say. I'm like, yo, don't try to be like other people. Don't try to sound like other people. Be yourself. Sound like yourself. Even if people hate you for it, yo, the more you sound like yourself, the more in the beginning people are gonna fucking hate you for it. People are gonna fucking hate on you for it, man. The more you are yourself, like, that's just how it is, man. So it's like, face that onslaught in the beginning, and there's many rappers who have done it, right? Like, I mean, a perfect example is Tech Nine. Tech Nine, to me, is a dope artist. I'm a fan of Tech Nine, and Tech Nine, in the beginning, he wasn't rapping like everyone else. Like, people in the hip-hop community, people were like, oh, he's satanic, he's fucking has face paint on, he's fucking with juggalos, he's opening for like fucking Insane Clown Posse, and he's building his fan base off the the devil music. He's the devil, blah, 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 right? But really, it wasn't that. It's just that that was his market, and that was his platform, and he was building off of that. And now look at him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I say to every up and coming artist, man. Yo, be yourself, man. Embrace individuality, man. It's so fucking like contradictory. Like, we're living in a society that's like so much about like, yeah, me. But no motherfucker is like me, like I'm an individual. Everyone's like, yeah, me, I'm fucking selfish, but let me be like this person or that. Let me look up to this person or that person. Like, the one thing I hate is like when you start doing something like this, when you start rapping and shit like that, the one thing I hate about people is like when they try to compare you. Like, when you're first starting, you rap and it's like they try to compare you to their favorite fucking artist, who's like fucking Eminem or Drake, who's like someone who's like fucking been in this game for like 20 years. It's like, that's like such a bad comparison. That's such a bad analogy. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're comparing this person to someone who's like way above. That's like me comparing a fucking grade 12 fucking student who's like trying to get into fucking engineering to like a fucking like dude who's like a project manager at a fucking engineering site. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
But in fucking pop culture, it makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the corny shit. Like, there's no standards in this shit. Everyone's fucking like, this is the problem, right? It's like, even when you watch something on fucking like YouTube or whatever, right? Like, most people, before they watch something, this is what I noticed. Most people, before they watch something on YouTube, they immediately go and look at the comments.
That's true, yeah.
Which is toxic, because it's like, now it's like you're judging shit based on people's opinions.
Right.
And most people don't have the same opinion as you. They might, right? But it's rare. Like, you need to like look at something and judge it for yourself, or hear something and judge it for yourself, and not criticize it based on other people's fucking like other people's indoctrination. Like, most people are indoctrinated. Right? It's like us, man. Remember when we released "Want to See a Dead Body" and shit?
Right.
Well, right? And it's like, fucking, we got love for that shit, but then we got hate for that shit too.
That's true.
And the hate is coming from like these hardcore hip hop heads who want to hear like hardcore, like they want to hear the hardcore street shit, and it's like, yo, that's not our sound. And it's like, but why you gotta diss it? Like, why you gotta be like, why you gotta create presumptions about it? Why can't you just be like, okay, this is not for me, let me move on?
That's true, yeah.
But this is the society we're living in, where everyone's like needs to have an opinion,
right?
Yeah. Like, I remember, I think like it was like Imam Jafar as-Sadiq. He was like the 6th Shia Imam for like Shia Muslims or whatever, and he said something that always like it stuck in my mind. It always like I kept it with me. He says, the wisest man is the man that says, when he doesn't know something, he says, I don't know. That's the wisest statement a person can say, is that when they don't know something, you say, I don't know. Most people, it's like they feel the need, like when someone answers them a question, it's like they feel the need, like, oh, I gotta know this, or else it's gonna demean me.
Right.
Like, fuck that shit, yo. It's like, if you don't know something, just be humble and be like, I don't know, man. I don't have the solutions. I don't know everything.
Right.
But we're living in like a narcissistic society where it's like, everyone's like, oh, I know the solution to your problems. I know. And most of that shit is all based on like toxic criticism. It's not based on anything authentic. It's like, oh, I know your problem. Let me figure it out. This is your problem. And most of it is based on like them blaming you for something. Right? So it's like I was watching this one, like I was hearing this one, this rabbi speak, and he was talking about something called ga'ava. Ga'ava in Hebrew, it means ego, it means pride, right? And one rabbi he told a story where one rabbi was like, one of his students asked him, he's like, how do you get rid of ga'ava? How do you get rid of ego and pride? What's the solution to that? Right? And he gave him a solution. Right? He gave him a solution to it. And then and then that same student went to other rabbis, and they all gave a solution. Then he went to a rabbi called the Ben Ish Chai, right? And the rabbi called Ben Ish Chai, he told him, he was like, he asked him, he's like, what's the solution to ga'ava, to ego, to pride, right? To narcissism, braggadocious shit. He's like, because braggadocious shit will always bring your downfall, no matter what. I don't care who you are, right? Eventually it'll always bring your downfall. He asked him, he was like, what's the solution to this? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, there is no solution. He's like, the fight with the pride, the ego, the ga'ava is like a lifelong battle, right? And that's what made him right, that he said there is no solution. And the other dudes who gave him a solution, they proved their own ga'ava, their own ego by giving the solution. Like, oh, I know. I'm the one who. It was almost like a double. It was like play on words. It was like a double entendre. It's like, oh yeah, I know. I'm the one who knows. It's like they prove themselves wrong just by saying that they know.
Saying that they have the solution to how to solve the ego.
Right. But that Ben Ish Chai, he's like, no, there is no solution. He's like, it's a lifelong battle. Sometimes you're gonna be up. Things are gonna be going your way. Your ga'ava, your ego is gonna go up, and then something's gonna bring it back down to humble you, to teach you something. That's life. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is, right? So I mean, like shit like that, man. Like that's what the stuff we're trying to talk about on our fucking podcast based on our limited understanding of what we know.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
All right, Darkness, time to take another break. We're going to play you a song from our underground hip-hop album, Cloth of Fortune. We're going to play Red Rum.
Darkness, red rum, like the flavor of blood. Darkness, yeah, red rum, like the flavor of motherfucking blood. What up, Beastrumentals? Darkness, let's fucking go. Yeah, red rum, like the flavor of blood. My whole life I felt sunk in an ocean of drums. Blood pouring out my lungs. From the bullet holes I was clipped by my own duns. Vengeance was mine. Paranoia was eating my mind. Angels laughed at me, bathed me in light. While I suffered, shit was trife. No, shit was pure strife. Third eye blind, couldn't see the shadows past my cries. Suffering in pure torment, the heavens scorned me.